Now, back to WFO Radio, NHRA Nitro.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to WFO Radio, NHRA Nitro Podcast. Joe Costello here with you at WFO Joe on Twitter. If you want to follow along, we'll have Robert Hight, funny car winner from the NTK NHRA Carolina Nationals at ZMAX Dragway on the show. Just minutes, just seconds from now. Oh, yes, Robert going to be on this week. Steve Torrance, Andrew Hines, Derek Kramer, Alan Reinhart, catching up with everybody as best as we can. Even going to catch up with Richie Stevens, who'll be running this weekend. Everybody coming in, of course, and even maybe a factory stock podcast for you guys to check out as we get ready for the samtech.edu Factory Stock Showdown finale out there this weekend at the Texas Motorplex. It is all brought to you by TotalSeal.com, Total Seal piston rings, and other great sponsors. Total Seal makes tools, they make rings, they do a great job. They're the leader in ring seal technology for your street car or for your race car, whether you got an Indy car, stock eliminator car, or Nitro car. They make piston rings. TotalSeal.com. Samtech.edu. Speaking of the School of Automotive Machinist and Technology, start your education at full speed. Blockhead CNC programs, motorsport EFI tuning, CNC machining. They do it all. They've got it all. And most importantly, they can put you on the path to getting placed at one of their contacts. Companies like Boeing or engine shops or race teams. They do a great job. Samtech.edu. Rodax, coffeeandgrills.com. Marvin Rodak. Hot sauces and spice rubs. Everything good. Marvin Rodak. Gourmet coffee blends from around the world. Some of the best coffee plantations on the planet do business with Rodax, and then he roasts it fresh per your order. Curious? Give him a call, 817-924-6821. That is Marvin Rodak and Rodax, coffeeandgrills.com. 817-924-6821. Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, the Dragster Adventure, one of the coolest things we promote on this show, honestly, because you can get the experience. Like if you're going to go to, Yankees fantasy camp and try to take some hits off Joe Pepitone, right? Then it's kind of the same thing. You're driving a dragster, and Frank Hawley is around, and he's instructing you. To me, that is amazing. The Dragster Adventure goes around the country. You drive a dragster at 130 miles per hour in the quarter mile. You get an unbelievable sensation, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, doing burnouts, making launches. And what do you bring? You just show up with yourself. They handle it all the rest. Courses start at $399. To me, it makes a great gift. Check them out, frankhawley.com. And finally, MagicDryUS.com, the official organic absorbent of the NHRA. Go to the web, MagicDryUS.com. They've got multi-use bags. They have spill kits. It's all made of coconut, and it absorbs 5 times the amount of liquid as a conventional clay-based product. Think about that. Plus, it's a lot lighter to carry around. Better all around, Magic Dry is made in the USA. Big sponsor of Scott Palmer. Palmer's going to be out there this weekend with Lee Calloway, which is going to be interesting. They're on the entry list. Palmer told me they're going to dive in with Lee and try to get Lee qualified for his very first race. That is this weekend going on, MagicDryUS.com. Good luck to Scott Palmer, Lee Calloway, and that team. Big sponsors, they help out, plus Drag Racing Edge magazine and EV3 Drag Racing for your mobile device. Please download our free WFO Radio mobile app or subscribe on iTunes or Apple Podcasts or Spotify, however you wish to subscribe, so you never miss a show. All right. Joining us now, he was the funny car winner out there in Charlotte and is looking really strong in the points standings. He got his 500th round win. That's absolute insanity. Robert Hight, welcome back to WFO Radio Podcast. Congratulations.
Thanks for having me, Joe.
44 points up on Fast Jack Beckman. But before we get into that, before we get into all the positive stuff, my deepest condolences on the end of the Dodgers season.
Oh, isn't that painful? Man.
Yeah.
I'm so mad about that. I mean, I look at all sports the same, right? And whether it's racing or baseball, and the Dodgers won 106 wins in the regular season. That was most in the National League, and most by the Dodgers in franchise history. Okay, so now we're in the postseason, and we take Clayton Kershaw and bring him out of the bullpen. Okay, we didn't do that all year when we won 106 wins. Okay, so now we're going to get to the playoffs, and we're going to totally change up our game. And that would be like me going up for final round and saying, I'm just going to change my whole routine.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
And you're not the only one. All the Dodger fans, people need to understand there are a lot of Dodger fans out there in NHRA universe because of California. And, who knows? Maybe I'll be sitting where you're sitting real soon, right? The Astros and the Yankees are getting ready to get started right here. Who knows? But, yes, it burns and it is annoying, especially when you get out of your normal routine.
It doesn't make any sense. And then, this era of baseball is all about statistics and numbers, okay? And the Dodgers really follow all those metrics, all right? And then, so Clayton Kershaw, if you are really looking at numbers, he's horrible in the postseason. He's been great during the regular season every year, won Cy Youngs, everything else, but the guy has a horrible postseason record. So it made no sense to do what they did. They were leading. They should have went with a plan like they had all year, and I believe they would have advanced.
Brutal. And the finality of it all. And the tie to what we're doing is, facing that elimination moment, right? It doesn't really happen in a dramatic one moment like happened with you guys, a grand slam coming up against you, where, people are crying out like, no, it's over. It more slips away in drag racing. The good news is for you, it's not slipping away. You're leading the points and running well coming in off a win. But let's talk a little bit about that, though. There are some drivers who, maybe they weren't officially eliminated, but it's going to be impossible for them to win the championship.
Well, you never know. It's the top five are going to have to really, really, tank for some of those lower drivers to fall. But not saying it can't happen. And with points and a half at Pomona, that changes everything. I feel I could go out and win the next two races, okay, and Beckman or John, let's say they go a lot of rounds, maybe race me in the final, and they go on to Pomona and win the race, and if I were to go out first round, theoretically somebody else could win the championship. So it's a long way from over. It's going to be a dogfight.
Yes, it is. Let's talk about qualifying. Beckman was strongest in qualifying, but you guys were the number 2 qualifier, so you're on the opposite sides of the ladder. And round 1, you had to go up against Mike McIntyre, and that one blew me away. You guys dropped a 90, and you needed it, right? Mike McIntyre, they were celebrating on the line. It was, I think, a first 3-second run, and maybe first time, pedal down to the end. And that just goes to show why you cannot take anybody lightly.
Exactly. You know what? It was fun racing him. It was fun to see those guys celebrating at the other end. Even though they didn't get the round win, they ran, 397. They made the best run in the right lane for funny cars first round. So, like you said, if we'd have messed up a little, dropped a cylinder, anything happened, they would have got us. But it was just fun to see those guys celebrating. They really were having a blast, and that's really what this sport's all about,
An aspect of it that we don't always cover because it's like, well, Robert won, so they lost, so they're losers. No, they're not. They ran their first 3, their personal best. They got down clean. There's 10 different, speaking of metrics, that they won. They just did not beat Robert Hight to the finish line, but they walked out of there feeling great about their program.
Exactly, yeah, and that's really cool. They did it as a team, maybe their family. It's just that's a big accomplishment for those guys. So it was, and they congratulated me. I was congratulating them. It's just fun to see those guys having a great time. Other
side of the ladder, Beckman gets by Dale Creasy. He's got to run Tommy Johnson. Caps and Force going up against each other. Force beats JR first round. Rolled in a little deep. Brian Karate told me, he's like, oh, man, I wish you wouldn't do that. But setting up the Caps Force run. You got to run Wilkerson and Hagan and Tasca on the other side of the ladder. Hagan beats Tasca. Caps gets around Force in a very tight race, and Beckman beats Tommy. You go up against Wilk. And, Robert, to me, this is the run that, for the rest of the competition, if you end up going on and winning the championship, this is the one that the opportunity was missed for the field, right? If Wilk gets you, knocks you out early, then the rest of the field can kind of catch up, get ahead. Who knows? but you got around.
Yeah, Beckman would be in the points lead right now had that happened.
Yes, that was the run. And this is what I love about the countdown, circling runs that were of extreme significance. Wilk, for whatever reason, had a 102 light, slightly better ET, really strong ET, but you got around him.
Yep, it's a big one. He's really turned that car around. It's running well. He qualified well, and he made a great run first round. So he had lane choice. So we knew we had to be on our game, and we were fortunate enough to get that one. And it doesn't seem like they get any easier. I mean, Matt Hagan next, and Beckman. These guys, it's to win a race is. You've really accomplished something when you've won a race, because you've knocked down some hitters no matter what. And
the track conditions and the air conditions seem to be the best on Monday that they had been all weekend long. So you mentioned getting around Hagan with the 391. Other side of the ladder, Beckman goes 395 to beat Capps. And now you got a final round matchup, and it's 1 and 2 in the points at that point, one way or another. Tell me about prepping for the final round. I know Jack ultimately went red. I'm wondering, did something weird happen in the beams? I didn't speak with Jack, but 80 is pretty significant red and out of character for Jack Beckman. But talk about prepping for that team, with Guido and John Medlin over there, who, if there's, any guys that are, John Force Racing that are not on John Force Racing, it's those guys.
Yeah, without a doubt. Those guys, as of late, they've been running really, really well. They've already won a race in the countdown, and so they're right on our heels. Had I lost, that would have been a big shift in points. So we really needed that. And Jimmy kept saying, it can run better. It can run better. And sometimes that scares me because when you start pushing more, you're getting closer to that edge where it find a little tip over and you lose traction. So, but we made it down the track. All 4 runs in qualifying. And first 3 rounds, all really great runs. So when the car is doing that, your confidence is up, and just knew that we had to go up there and make a great run. I had to do my job to beat Beckman, and your mind plays tricks with you, because I knew I saw the tree and hit it good, but I heard him leave. So then your mind instantly goes to, was I late? It wasn't, did he red light? It was I late? And luckily I glanced over at the tree as I drove by it, and it was red, and there was this sigh of relief. It was like, we finally got a win here in the countdown, which is exactly what you need. You're not going to win a championship without wins in the countdown.
Yeah, no, not in funny car, certainly not. And so you win the race. Beckman, red light start, first time in like 10 years in competition, unbelievable streak he's had. But looking at the point standings now, you're 44 up, but your 500th round win. That doesn't happen. That's very rare. John, Capps, you, amazing.
I didn't even know that number was coming. No one had told me, which I'm kind of glad, because sometimes you focus on those things, and this time of year in the countdown, you don't need to be focusing on anything but each individual round separately. But it is cool, only 20 drivers, I guess, have done it. That's put you in some pretty elite company. This has been a crazy year. 50 wins, 6 wins so far on the season. That's the most I've ever had. But 6 wins, I'll tell you right now, isn't going to win you a championship. Okay, that if I don't win anymore, I don't feel we're gonna get this done. So we still have to win some races.
Yeah, looking at the points, Jack 44 back, John 79 back, Capps 90 back. I think all 3 of those guys are still in the mix, but going to need a little help. You could go win another race. You could win 3 races. Like, we just don't know. And that brings me to my point, which is the countdown, the playoff system known as the countdown, is about moments, right? Like big moments, like you and Wilk in that moment. We look back and we find out what happened. You advanced, he did not, and you were able to build this 44-point lead now. Going into Dallas, AAA race, a race that you won last year, you have an opportunity to seize control, right? If you guys were to go out and do what you did last year, then, even if Beckman runners up again, then suddenly it's 60 points, right? It's a big, big swing. You have an opportunity to create a huge moment with a great weekend this weekend.
Well, that's what we're doing. But we're going to start with Q1. We're counting every one of those little points that you get in qualifying, and we did pretty well this weekend. I think we only failed to get points one run, one of the qualifying runs. So we're going to go out there and, try to be top two every run and, start building on that, and try to get that another round. You could get another round real easy in the little points, which at the end of the year, you lose a championship by, 4 points or something. You thought, well, you don't necessarily look right back to race day. You look at qualifying runs because you could have made that up, with some better runs.
We're seeing that. We're seeing that in multiple categories. Erica, for instance, in Pro Stock has dominated qualifying points. Has got one more than a round of racing in qualifying points.
It all adds up, and every run this time of year is magnified. It means something. That's kind of exciting, So you go up there and you're just putting it all on the line every single run, and I think as a fan, the fans have to love it, if they're really following the points closely, because it's exciting for me, I tell you that.
Jimmy Prock, Chris Cunningham, obviously two of the best out there, plus the way they work. The chemistry that they have, and you guys together, your team, and the chemistry. You've been preparing for this for a long time, and making the most of your opportunity, right? Like you want to. Guys were real strong last year, and you didn't win the championship, right? You had an explosion, you had an injury, some things happened. Oops, just like that, not the championship, and just like the Dodgers, right? A great season and not the result you want. So you guys have got to focus on capitalizing on this great season. So 3 races to go. I know you're not going to deviate from what got you here, but if you're going to verbalize what got you here, what is it?
Well, it's consistency, but at the same time performance, okay? It doesn't do any good to go out there and fire a shot every once in a while and throw down a big number and, then smoke the tires 3 runs after that. That's not going to get the job done. And that's really what we focused on last winter, was more on the consistency side, because we did have a fast car last year, and we really looked at why we didn't win the championship. We beat ourselves. We smoked the tires. Okay, so we worked on consistency and clutch application, and I really feel that that's paid off because, we've basically led the points now, all but one race this year, and that was after the first race of the countdown. Beckman winning the points lead, but we've had the points lead from day one. So we've had a great car all year, and we just, like I said earlier with the reference to baseball, got to keep doing what got us here, okay? Not beat ourselves, be consistent, be steady, and no mistakes. This team, this is what's cool about my team, they all know what they have to do, okay? We don't have to talk about it. We put our heads down and we work and get the job done. And it's so much fun being with this group of guys. They just they live for this.
Yeah, your guys. Let's spend a little time there in that. My impression is that they have stuck around for a while, that this is a veteran team. And I don't hear any kind of, I don't want to use the word nonsense, right? Because that's not what I mean. But just it seems like a very professional group that handle their business.
Yeah, they do. We do actually have 2 new guys this year that, we brought on. We had a couple of guys that decided to leave last year. They had families and needed to be home more with their family. And I was actually nervous, coming into this season with a couple of new guys because it takes a while to gel and everybody, work good together. But, boy, I could tell at testing that Jimmy and Chris had hired the right 2 guys. And it's, not only do they do their jobs and do it good, don't make any mistakes, but they get along, okay? They all really do hang out and have a good time with each other and joke around when we're not racing. When there's an off week, they're together doing things, and I think that's very important. Everybody, it's a family. You live together, so you've got to get along.
Totally agree, and it's fun to watch. Just hours from now, really, You'll be out there at Billy Meyer's Texas Motorplex trying to get qualified Q1. We got back-to-back races, and we'll learn a whole lot. We'll know a whole lot as we get ready to head to Vegas. Congratulations on a great effort out there in Charlotte, a big win and leading the points, 500-round victories, but I know you're in the middle of the fight. So let me ask you. So now that the Dodgers are out, what kind of a fan are you? Are you the kind of fan, and I'm not judging, I'm just asking, right? There are some fans that don't pay attention anymore. Maybe you'll watch the World Series. Other fans that pay attention, and other fans that maybe even have a second preference. What kind of fan are you?
No, I'm a baseball fan, so I'll watch all the games if I can. I like watching not good games, good baseball games, and you see. I mean, look at the Washington Nationals. Okay, they really did not match up against the Dodgers, but yet they're on their way to the World Series. Okay, their pitching is out of control right now, and that's something the Dodgers need to take note of. Pitching wins games, and it's even though they beat the Dodgers, it's fun to see what those guys are doing right now. So no, I like good baseball games. I think it's going to be a dogfight between the Astros and the Yankees. I mean, those are two great teams, and it's pretty fun to watch that too.
So true, so true. It's on in the background. I don't even want to tell you what's happening. It's not good for the Yankees at the moment, but you never know. Robert, great job. Congratulations. Thanks for sharing it with us here on WFO Radio Podcast. It's been fun catching up with you on all these milestones, right, in your career, the 50th win, the 500-round victories. But the best is when you go out and win races and give us a debrief to help us, learn, understand, and the contribution of all the guys in the team. Excellent work. I'll see you in a few days. We'll be out there at one of the great tracks of the NHRA, the Motorplex. That'll be fun. AAA Texas Fall Nationals. Good luck, and thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Robert. Robert Hight with us here on WFO Radio, NHRA Nitro Podcast. And yes, he's a Dodgers fan all year long, and now the season's over, and well, the season is ending for a lot of teams, and you never know when you're going to experience heartbreak like that. It is brutal. In drag racing, though, we don't have that. You're not eliminated on a home run or something. It kind of just slips away. And it gets further and further away, and then you're out and you can never get there. Kind of a situation in drag racing. But thanks to Robert Hight for coming on the show. And yes, if he goes out there and wins this weekend, he said it. It's not in the books, and it ain't over until it's over. To quote the great Yogi Berra. Put it that way. Well, congratulations to Robert on 500 round wins. Remember, everybody, you can subscribe to WFO Radio Podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud. Go to the WFO Radio mobile app. It is free. Definitely get after it. WFO Radio. And big thanks to our sponsors who make it all possible. People like Total Seal Piston Rings, samtech.edu, Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School and frankhawley.com, MagicDryUS.com, Marvin Rodak, RodaksCoffeeandGrills.com. Got a lot of .com. Samtech I mentioned. Drag Racing Edge Magazine and EV3 Drag Racing. Really appreciate those people that help us out, that support the show, that care about you guys, that know that the next time you want coffee or you want to do something cool, you're going to go to frankhawley.com or you're going to go to Marvin Rodak. For you engine builders out there, mechanics, Total Seal Piston Rings, etc., we really appreciate all you folks. Share the show with your friends. John Force Racing fans. There's all kinds of great interviews in the archive with your favorite drivers, whether it be John Force Racing or otherwise. Congratulations to Robert. Good luck for the remainder of the countdown. There will be more WFO Radio winners interviews coming up in the archive. Click subscribe. Never miss a show. WFO, everybody.
WFO! The views and opinions of the hosts, guests, or callers do not necessarily reflect that of the station ownership, advertisers, or agencies.
I love WFO Radio.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, engine builders, Total Seal Piston Rings are the leader in ring seal technology, and they go out of their way to help their customers and will make custom sets for any specific piston you might have. Customer service, top notch. Made in America? Absolutely. They're located in Phoenix, Arizona, and they've got everything it takes to develop the world's best piston rings. Give them a call at 800-874-2753 or go to TotalSeal.com. You're working in the shop, you've got spills, you've spilled oil, it's everywhere. What are you going to do? I know what you're going to do, but that's not the best way to do it. The best way to do it is to go to magicdryus.com and order the official organic absorbent of the National Hot Rod Association, Magic Dry. It's lighter, it absorbs more, it's better for the environment. It's made out of coconut. It's made in America. magicdryus.com. They've got spill kits that include everything you need for a regular, normal household spill, all the way up to a large industrial spill. We always say, if you've got a cat, get Cat Spot. If you've got a shop, if you've got a factory, if you've got a spill, call Magic Dry. That's magicdryus.com. Attention adrenaline junkies, Frank Hawley's Dragster Adventure is calling you. Rides available for the 2020 season. Go to frankhawley.com. They're coming to a track near you. It makes a great gift, and you know the holidays are coming, whether it be licensing for Super Comp, Super Gas, all the way up to Top Alcohol. They can do it. But if you're a drag racing fan and you've always imagined what it might be like to drive a dragster, to accelerate 0 to 60 in 3 seconds and run 10s in the quarter mile, give them a call. 866-480-7223, frankhawley.com, the Dragster Adventure, and tell them you heard it on WFO.
Hey, WFO Universe. Want something for free? Send a self-addressed stamped envelope with plenty of postage, and we'll load it up with free WFO stickers. That's right, I said free. Send your envelope, care of Castello Media /WFO stickers to P.O. Box 848353, Pembroke Pines, Florida 33084. Do it now.
This is WFO Radio.